regardless of what you saw or what you think happened, they're going to fry Juwan Howard, and we all know it. So the hottest news in basketball right now, in particular college basketball, is the ugly altercation between Michigan men's basketball head coach Juwan Howard and Wisconsin head coach Gard. Now, here's the background to the situation. Apparently, Juwan Howard's Michigan Wolverines, they did not look good in this matchup against Wisconsin, and they pretty much got rocked. They lost 7-7 to 63. And Juwan Howard didn't really take kindly to the fact that their head coach, Gard, decided to call a timeout in the final minute of the game while they already had a big lead. And Juwan Howard took that as disrespect to not only him, but disrespect to his guys. And he felt like it was unnecessary. So, at the end of college basketball games, the guys dap it up and, in the handshake line and they go about their business. But when when the handshake line started, Juwan Howard didn't get up right away. And he eventually did make his way to the handshake line. And once he got to the handshake line, and when he crossed paths with their head coach, Gard, he told him straight up, I'm going to remember that shit. And Gard put his hands on him and tried to stop him. Meanwhile, Juwan Howard tried to walk by him. But Gard took it upon himself to put his hands on Juwan Howard, try to stop him to get his attention and try to explain himself. But in that moment, do you think another man is really trying to hear you explain yourself in the heat of everything? But I digress. Gard put his hands on Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard said, "No, don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me." So they had a back and forth. Words were exchanged. The crowd got bigger. Things got more heated, and then all of a sudden, you see Juwan Howard take a swipe at one of the assistant head coach's face, and that's where things hit the fan. And now everyone is calling for Juwan Howard's job. Some people are saying he needs to be fired. Some say suspended. It's just a bad look all the way around. Now, of course, tempers flare, things happen, but it's how you carry yourself and it's how you handle yourself, right? But we got to acknowledge the fact that Juwan Howard should have never been touched in the first place, should have never been held back by Gard in the first place. Now, look, Juwan Howard was out of line. Juwan Howard should never put his hands on nobody. Juwan Howard should have never allowed it to get to that point emotionally for himself, right? You have to be more even killed than that. You have to be more disciplined than that, especially when you're the adult in the room and you're coaching young men. You're coaching kids age 18 to 22, 23. And you have to lead by example. And that's not how you lead by example. Sure, he felt that his actions were justified, but you cannot carry yourself that way. But at the same time, Wisconsin head coach Gard should have never put his hands on Juwan Howard. That should have never happened. You don't put your hands on another grown man in the midst of a heated situation. That's just something you don't do. Now, you could have still got his attention and tried to talk to him, but you don't put your hands on that man because anything is liable to happen after that point. I'm not justifying Juwan Howard's actions. All I'm saying is you don't put your hands on another brother in the midst of a heated situation because you never know how it may go. You don't put your hands on me. I'm gonna put my hands on you, and that's how it ended up. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to probably suspend Juwan Howard. I don't think he's going to get fired. Nothing really happened. I'm tired of these outlets trying to say he threw a punch. He didn't throw a punch. He swiped at his face. In other words, he smacked him. It looked like he tried to grab his face. That's what it looked like. But Juwan Howard didn't throw a punch. That wasn't the case at all. But things got out of hand, things got heated, and he's going to have to answer for it. And we all know they're going to try to fry Juwan Howard. And it don't help that you're a black man. When you're a black man, the things don't necessarily always go in your favor as it would your counterpart. But, that's another conversation for another day. The bottom line is Juwan Howard, he was out of line. Gard should have never, ever put his hands on him. And sometimes, you can be responsible for your actions, right? But you can't try to dictate the outcome. What I mean is, Gard, yes, you called yourself trying to be the bigger man by trying to talk to Juwan Howard. But when you put your hands on another person, you can't try to predict or try to judge that person for how they reacted to you. You know what I'm saying? You had to be responsible for yourself, and in that moment, your responsibility was to make sure you do not put your hands on that man. You did it. You put your hands on Juwan Howard, and Juwan Howard was not having it. It was crazy because Juwan Howard was with the shits. Juwan Howard was with it, but all in all, man, I'm not condoning this behavior in any way. It was pretty funny, but I'm not condoning this behavior in any way. Juwan Howard should have never put his hands on that man. Gard, the head coach for Wisconsin, should have never put his hands on Juwan Howard, man. At the end of the day, man, like you can't get mad for how somebody react to you touching them. Not everybody responds well to that. I don't know, man. I can go on and on about this, but it was just a messy situation, and we all know they're gonna give Juwan Howard hell for the next several weeks, and we're gonna see how things happen, but it'll blow over at the end of the day. And Juwan Howard, hopefully, he only gets suspended. I don't want his job to be put in jeopardy because we all know Juwan Howard is a very good coach, and we'll see what happens at the end of the day. But make sure you guys comment below. I want to hear what you guys think about the situation. Do you guys think Juwan Howard was out of line? Do you guys think Gard should have, the head coach for Wisconsin, Gard, should have never put his hands on Juwan Howard in the first place? Do you guys think both guys are equally culpable for what happened? I want you guys to tell me your exact thoughts. And if you disagree with me or if you agree, whatever it is, I want to hear your thoughts in that comment section. Make sure you guys like the video as well. And also subscribe if you're new to my content. I'd be so grateful for that. But I'm out of here, you guys. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.